Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing look, I should say, into some of the other major nations in our last playthrough, sort of the post-mortem of the series. And this is the Soviet Union special, as I'm sure you could tell by the thumbnail used for the event. So let's take a look at production here. So, okay, so we have excess production that we don't need. We're producing, or the Soviets are producing lots of aircraft, then divisions. Now these, unlike Germany, they're actually producing these things, meaning they're actively being worked on through the production queue. And the reason I think, because I don't build this way, but the reason I think we're seeing this is in here because, and also the some of the large costs and some of the ICs is, is that they're running through, plus 2 more of these. So this will trigger, then they'll do 2 more, so that'll rotate through. I just don't build in that fashion. So now, well, they're increasing industrial capacity, and they have more industrial capacity than they currently can use. That's interesting, but partly that is because of the current manpower situation of almost nothing. So they're running into that. Doing infrastructure, that could be useful for moving, well, wherever, east, west, whatever they're thinking about. Yeah, and radars, those could be good. Good, useful stuff if you have an excess. Now, unlike Germany, I don't see a major problem here, meaning they're not like, oh, we're building heavy fleet elements, but we're, we're getting overrun on land, and having a nice new battleship or something won't really help Germany in any shape or form. But all this stuff here, bombers, fighters, that helps. If you were a little worried about the manpower situation, and we're going to take a look at some of the units in a minute, I haven't looked really yet, you could obviously stop the building of some of these additional, the +2s, the +3s, and that would probably kick a bunch more manpower back in the pool for either replacements, reinforcement type, or for other new units. And I say that because building these sequentially, one after the other instead of concurrently, just means the manpower is out of the pool. It's sitting there waiting to be built. At least this is how I understand it. I normally don't play this way. And so that you could be putting it into, have more units being developed all at once instead of, waiting around later to flood the zone. These infantry divisions, they look all right. Medium artillery, infantry. Don't know if you'd want to do more. Though they have a bit of a fuel situation, so maybe more armor isn't a good idea. They have excess research, so let's take a quick look at research technology. Okay, well, 46 transportation, 45, remember we're just still in late 44, but okay, so 46, 45, okay, so they're fairly well current. Now, because they were in an AI nation, they've been getting a lot of bonuses. Okay, well, their navy is way behind, which is good for the Soviets. This is good for the Soviets, for the AI, because it hasn't been wasting its research on things it won't need, build, use, whatever. So, okay, they've gone up to transport vessels, that's all right. So you can have transport flotillas. That's okay. And operational, okay, 44, 42s. All right, not maybe great. Some of these are a little back. I think some of these have, like artillery flexibility and whatever, have bigger effects on things. But still not bad. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Not bad with technology and what they're currently researching. Now we can let's look at the condition of some of these units here is what I'm looking for. Okay, mostly fully green, and again, mostly fully supplied, current strength. So yeah, okay, a light armored brigade. That's quite historical, though not that useful in this. We can sort of see, okay, they're sort of zipping around back and forth. What do? They're getting out of neutral territory or coming into here and getting out, I don't know. Not the worst mess I've seen with an AI. You know, it's what's moving to the front, what's moving to the rear, and why are we doing in those directions. So I would say some silliness, but not too bad, quite honestly, not too bad at all. Now, what we can see here is the effects of my play style here. Look, we're still scrolling, okay. A lot of conscript units in these. Yeah, lots of conscript units here. More conscript units. Even more, some tank brigades, good. So all of these units here were not in the battle, were not being used. And all of these units that are here, some are heading north, as we can see, some are heading way up to here, you know, and some are heading south. But all these units are not in battle because we have evil Axis sitting down here that might join the war at any second. And so we have to be prepared for it. So that is good for my play style here. And here, you see we're scrolling down here. Just want to see that we're still scrolling. You see this, the scroll bar comes down. All these, a lot of conscript units, but even more tank brigades that would have been heavy tank brigades with assault guns that would either have been pounding into me, which we were holding this with simplistic, you know, just a militia unit here and plus whatever the local puppet state raised. We were denying all of these to the Soviet Western Front, the German Eastern Front, and would have made, you know, okay, this is not so much, but look at, we had a garrison unit opposing them. We had a regular infantry division opposing them. You know, that's it. Most of this border, actually, you can't get across. So I don't know. And did we have a crash? I think we just had a crash. Yeah. Oh, no, we didn't. We're back. Okay, good. I don't know what that was. Good. Somehow that clipped out here. Okay. But this is what I wanted to see. So, yeah, a lot of junky units here. Yeah, if all I was tying up everywhere was, and I had militia units facing them, that might not be too bad, but most of this border is impassable. So we can see infrastructure level 1. This is much higher. Now we do have a passable border through here. Okay, not so great unit types, but again, what do we have? Oh, puppet state troops sitting opposite to them. So yeah, all of that is why I didn't want to, because we get our butts kicked, but also we were tying up all of these troops. Now, I would have seriously considered, not saying I would do it, but seriously considered some of it just you bloodthirsty viewers, but, you know, attack. Some of you guys are really thoughtful too. I would have considered attacking if all I was seeing were an occasional garrison unit and nothing else here, and especially like down here, and, you know, hold off against the Western Allies and plunge deep into the Soviet Union, taking out Baku and the oil and whatnot from the Soviets to make them, because we, like, again, we see fuel here is incredibly low, and oil is incredibly low. So if we had taken out some of their fuel, I don't know what they may be getting Lend-Lease wise, if anything, because they are in their own faction. But so yeah, if I could have starved them of even more fuel by plunging into an undefended border, that would have been smart, and I very much would have considered it. Not, and this isn't just because historically Japan didn't attack. Well, they did before the main war started, cock and goal and whatnot along here particularly, but once the real war got going, With China, that is, not so much. Well, no, yeah, some of the stuff was going in 38 as well, but was done by 38. So the war with China was going on, but so with all of that happened, I would have done this now. Okay, so let's see, it's somewhere down here. For some reason, yeah, the Moscow HQ is here. Don't know how, don't know why they have Savesin T, or T. Savesin Field Marshal in charge of it with his max skill of 3. Though I notice, well, there's Joseph Stalin commanding some troops here. 4. His experience going up. Somewhere was Zhukov, I found. Just quickly looking before. I really haven't looked at it much, but was one of the sub-commanders, but you could have gotten a much better overall commander. And then the other front here, you can see the sort of tangled webs. Some of it's in red that's too far away. Up here there is a Leningrad front here. We can see that. And yeah, for some reason they got troops way out over here. They got attached and are now heading. And we have the Far East out here. This guy, so yeah, not too bad. All things considered. Yeah, I would say me playing as we've seen enough before it got too disastrous, and if it wasn't for the problems of tag switching and causing all kinds of real problems with the game. Though you may not see him, and it may still play, but there, before it got this bad, because it is bad for the Germans, I probably could have stabilized a nice, decent human AI, could have stabilized the border for the Germans. But now with losing Romania, I think what is the current diplomatic status of... Okay, truce with Germany, United Kingdom. We have a truce with everybody, United Kingdom, Soviet Union. Hungary is an Axis member, but it's an ally with Germany, but it has a truce with Germany. I guess it was at war briefly. So they're sort of at truce with everybody, so they're not in the war. Which actually might be good for Germany, because if the Soviets leave and they stay out of the war and stay in the Axis, yeah, those are a couple of if statements, it means that section of the front doesn't need to be defended, because nobody will go into and attack it. Where they are at war with everybody, at war with the Soviet Union. Yeah, puppet of Germany, Axis member. Slovakia, so Bulgaria. Yeah, they're still Axis member, haven't switched over, and of course. Oh, no, diplomacy would be better. Bulgaria. Romania. Okay, at war with Poland. Well, somehow they're at war with the Soviet Union still. I don't understand. But maybe I'm not meant to. Who knows? Oh, there's this little tiny bit here, I guess, is what they have. But okay. So I don't know if there's much more to look at. I guess we're going to look at their government. Yeah, looks alright, I guess. Don't know what I have more to say about the Soviet Union. One of the myths of the Soviet Union is they had endless manpower. From everything I've read, or really sort of the more, shall we say, authoritative looks at it, by the time you're rolling around into 1945, the Soviet Union has about exhausted its manpower reserves. It really is getting to be a problem. with the sort of three-sided factor, if you will. Combat troops, production people, and food growth, because you have to feed all these people. You can't, Lend-Lease cannot feed the Soviet Union. It might help, might do bits and, some good by sending some food there, and I don't know that they sent any, really. I think it was all just weapons. But so the Soviets have to feed themselves. And old men and women can do a bunch of farm work, but you still need young men doing a certain element of farm work. And the same with military construction. We can look in the U.S. Lots and lots of women get into military construction, and sometimes, 4 women can get together and pick up the thing that one man could pick up, or 2 men would pick up with ease. Just sort of sharing the load and picking up something that's sort of heavy. Do it together, 2 men, and 4 women can sort of kind of struggle with that and do it. But there's a lot of other stuff in sort of heavy construction, heavy work, that women just practically can't readily do, that you need relatively useful, relatively fit men to do it, that are obviously taken away from the potential front. So yeah, their manpower by the end of the war was exhausted. It was getting to be bad. But obviously Germany was more than exhausted, so yeah, it sort of worked out. So thanks for watching. I hope this is interesting. Again, we got more than 200 views for the look at Germany, so we'll do this look at the Soviet Union. Hopefully I've got everything, because I don't know that, looking at we're over utilizing this, we can just see that most of these units are in pretty good shape. Not them, I think we probably looked at him earlier. A lot of various communist militias, and so they'll do all right against, these are probably exhausted if we looked at them earlier, troops that are hollowed out and have very little organization. They'll do okay in large stacks. So we'll do this, and then we'll do the look at Britain and see how the British Empire is doing here at the end of World War II. So again, like the videos, subscribe if you haven't already, although I'm sure you have, and of course your comments. If I'm missing something you want to see, maybe put it down below. I'll make sure I cover it with Britain. Thanks so much. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.